Hello everyone, welcome to AAUW Conversation and Connection. I'm Sharon Watson Hamilton, and this is where I talk with people from our group. AAUW stands for American Association of University Women, and it's highfalutin, but basically we're a nonprofit that wants equity and advocates for equity and education, especially for young girls and women, however, everyone for sure. And this is where I talk to people within our group and also outside the group and get to know each other better here in Auburn, California. So today I am going to talk to someone who's been a good friend of AAUW because he was the publisher, editor, whatever he does down at the Auburn Journal, our local newspaper. He also was on a Trivia Bee team a couple years ago, thanks to Susan Rushton, my friend and his friend. And so he knows about AAUW in some respects, but I would like to hear his story since he recently retired. Hi, Bill.
It's good to be here, Sharon. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, I don't know.
Looking forward to this.
I drill them hard.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, I know. No, I'm going to start with, I like to hear people's story, where they went to school, where they rode a bike, or learned to ride a bike, and how you ended up in Auburn, California as editor of our local newspaper. So it goes back a ways, but let's hear it.
It actually doesn't even go back 47 years, which is how long I have been involved in community newspaper journalism. It goes back more than 50 years, about 50 years, because I got into journalism through a high school class my senior year.
Oh.
I needed an elective to graduate. I had 3 whole classes my senior year of high school. Jazz band, and popular communications is what the class was called. And it was a form of an English class, and my teacher was a man named Herb Danielson, who also was my soccer coach. I played soccer throughout high school. And we would get films of the high school football games, our games, watch them on Monday when we came back to class after the weekend, and he'd have us write stories. So having grown up reading a sports page my entire life, the Stockton Record mostly, I knew a little something about Associated Press style, and I just followed that, and I could craft a game story about our high school games. Plus, I knew all the kids on the team because they're all my friends.
Right.
I was in the band. I wasn't on the sideline with the football team.
Was this down in Stockton?
This was in Manteca at East Union High School. That's where I went to high school,
Okay.
yes. And he came up to me a few weeks in and said, Billy, they call me Billy, Billy, you have a real knack for turning a phrase. Have you thought about a career in journalism? And I said, no, I'm a senior in high school, and I like to party and chase girls and play in the band and play baseball. That's what I like to do. I didn't really say that, but that's what I was doing at that time.
Right.
But years later, just a couple years later, an opening came about at the Manteca Bulletin. 2 of us applied for one position. Both of us were hired, and we both went on to have lengthy careers in journalism. The other guy that I want to mention is a guy named Chuck Barney, who people up here probably don't know, but he moved on to become a TV critic for the San Jose Mercury News, the East Bay Times, Contra Costa Times, and that chain. And he became very well known in the East Bay area, still lives in that area. His wife became editor of the Vacaville Reporter. Oh. So we're all kind of newspaper friends, and I still keep in touch with them a little bit to this day. And from there, I just stayed in newspapers, and I've been doing it ever since. Every time I make an attempt to get out, some kind of newspaper job will come along and it'll pull me back in. Kind of like Michael Corleone in Godfather 3.
Okay, all right, just like that.
Every time I went out, they pull me back
like
in.
Ted Lasso, soccer.
Right.
He got pulled back in.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Exactly right.
Okay.
So I've been doing it ever since. I spent 3 tenures with McClatchy. My last 8 years before I came to Auburn at the Sacramento Bee proper, where I worked on their copy desk. I worked in their National Publishing Center. I was what they called a state editor, which I still don't know what that meant at the time, but I did the job. And I was sports editor for about 15 minutes. And
because you were so good at it?
Yes, I guess. I don't know. There are people who would tell you otherwise. But things were going on at the SAC-B. They were not good. They're still not good. I did not lose my job, but my job got absorbed by the National Publishing Center, and I took a 40% pay cut. That's not 14, that's 40. And I said, no. And I saw an opening for the Auburn Journal managing editor, and I interviewed for it, and I got hired on the spot, and I have been with the Journal ever since. And as I said at my semi-retirement party a week ago, the team that I'm with now, minus one person who left us a couple of years ago to go work another job in the county, and she's doing very, very well, is the best team I've ever worked with in my life. I believe it says something when you have someone like me who's been there for 6.5 years. Of course, the Journal, I'm not ashamed to say, pays me pretty well for what I do. Stacy Adams, this was her first newspaper job. She landed at the Journal 3 weeks before I did. She and I had been together since. Jordan Jorgensen just celebrated his 5-year anniversary with the company, and they admittedly don't make the most money. They're good jobs, and the company pays them, accordingly. They pay them well. But they could have easily used the Journal as a stepping stone. It's a small paper, and it's that type of paper. It's a stepping stone. But Stacy has used it as a stepping stone to become my successor, because I have since semi-retired in the last week, and she's now my boss. And
I love that.
I have taught her everything I know, and I still haven't taught her nearly what she needs to know. But she is set up really, really well. She's hit the ground running as the editor and my boss, and she's going to do a great job. The company's going to continue to flourish. Jordan is now director of sports content, so he's gotten a promotion.
Good.
We just hired a new assistant editor. Her name is Kimberly Beltran. She comes from far, far away in the town of Newcastle. Who knows? This is a woman with 40 years of community newspaper experience in Yountville, in Calistoga. She worked for the Napa Valley Register as a city editor. So she has a very nice, impressive resume. Living in Newcastle, saw the ad that we were looking for an assistant editor. So we have pretty much a brand new team. A very experienced team. She's already just getting along well with everyone. So it's a really exciting time for us, and especially exciting for me, because I'm not working 40 hours a week anymore.
Right.
I'm a full-time reporter covering the Auburn City beat, and so far I'm absolutely just loving it.
Oh, that's so great. So, good. So you're not really retired.
No,
Yeah,
not really.
just took a little baby sidestep.
Yeah, although today, after I've gotten all my work done for the whole week after today, and, after we finish here, I think I'm going to stop at Indian Creek on the way home and golf 9 holes.
Golf, okay.
You
He
know
is
why?
a golfer.
Because I can.
Because you can.
I can do that
I
now.
know.
I don't have deadlines.
I know, isn't that fun? And golf and sports all make good sense with you, because you did win the golf package at our trivia bee. Just
did.
Another plug for that.
That's right.
And so I remember you were so excited because it had a golf package and it was fun.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So okay, you've been with the Journal 6. What did you say? 6 years.
6.5 years. Yes.
So what would you say was the best story, or the thing you're most proud of in those 6 years? Do you have one thing that you can say, wow, I really love that story, or that interview, or that situation? Is there any that you can pick out?
It's not one, Sharon. It's a whole group of stories that we've done. I did one. It's honestly a sad story, but in 2020, about 8 months into the pandemic, I heard Placer County Supervisor Bonnie Gore say at a meeting. Stacy actually quoted her in her story, saying that we're all worried about COVID, but at this point of the year in 2020, there have been more suicides in Placer County than there have COVID deaths. And when I was editing Stacy's story, that quote stopped me. So I immediately talked to Stacy and said, hey, we have something here that we need to look at. So I got on the horn with Bonnie. Bonnie and I talked on the phone, and she said, yes, Bill, it's true. So I started researching a story on suicides. And 2,000 words and several sources later, I had a story on something that no one else in the media was discussing, which was something other than COVID.
Right.
It was how many hospitalizations today, how full is ICU, how many deaths, and of course, as I knew then, as we all know now, that the media wasn't telling that story in the correct way. This was the national mainstream media. We covered it for a while, then we backed away because it was the same thing all the time. But I found this story on suicides during the first 6 months of COVID, and I followed up. So I talked to Placer County chaplaincy, I talked to counselors, I talked to local sources in Auburn who had lost a loved one during COVID, but not due to COVID. I talked to Bonnie, I talked to the sheriff's office, talked to a lot of people, and formed that into a story. And selfishly for me, but for the paper as well, it won first place in a writing category for California News Publishers Association contest for the year of 2020. And I didn't get into this business to win awards, but when we win awards, it lets our reading public know that we're serious about what we do, and we're good at what we do.
Yeah.
And so that was a proud moment for me, but I'm much more proud of the awards that Stacy has won since CNPA awards, the awards that Jordan has won then. Neither of them were considered photographers. Both of them have won CNPA awards for photography.
Wow.
Which is really, really nice. Tracy Newell, who was the reporter that I did mention a couple of minutes ago, who has since left us and gone to work for the Placer County Office of Elections. And I always like to say this when I bring her up.
Do I know her?
You probably do know Tracy. She worked with us for about 3 years, and she's been gone for about 2. But every time I see Ryan Ronco,
I know.
I always let him know I'm still not talking to you because you poached Tracy.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's kind of a joke. I love Ryan, but I always have to tell him that, and he gets a big chuckle out of that, as do I. But she won a big award for enterprise journalism, for community journalism, on a story that she did about the wall coming down at where Pistol Peace is located, and
oh yes, where that
Elm,
it kind of
Elm and High Street.
Right, it caved into the road.
Caved in.
Yeah.
The road was closed for like 7 or 8 months.
Yeah,
and
at
someone
least.
I popped into I believe it was the Western States office one day. They said, "When are you going to do a story on that road?" What road? The one that goes up the hill to Lincoln Way that's been closed for almost a year.
Yeah.
You know, I've been noticing that. So it's people in the community that'll rattle my cage and go, "When are you going to do this? And what are you talking about?" I'll look into it and say, "We got a story. Why didn't we know about this?"
Right.
And Tracy jumped on that, and as one person said, who called us after the story came out, she cracked the code. And that's what a good journalist does. That was good community investigative journalism, and Tracy was very, very good at it. And she was a part of our team at one time, and she's thriving now as well. But it's those types of awards that make me most proud, not of what I do, but of what we do as a team.
Well, and it makes the city proud that you, our little wonderful newspaper, has done good, right? And good reporting and all that. That's just, I was sad. I think one of my saddest things over the course of living here forever was when we went down to 2 days a week. That was sad for me. I think it's because I'm old and I like a newspaper. I like a tactile newspaper. I still do. The Bee and the Journal. And now we're the last standing few that do it non-electronically. It just, and somebody said, "Well, why don't you do it on the electronic?" I said, "Well, for one thing, it hurts my eyes more to read. I'd rather sit, drink my coffee, do the puzzles, read the articles." At my pace, and that to me is a good morning. But and I catch so much more with a tactile paper than I do electronic. I'm sorry, it's true. Right. I think you can go through some. Are you making noise? Stop it. That was Phil. I always do that to Phil. Anyway, yeah. But I'm really proud of our paper. I love our paper, and I know it's going to go through some transitions, but yeah, that's a great story because everybody was talking about COVID, and so to veer off of that and get a nice accolades for it on a sad subject. Did you ever discover some reasons why that's true? Do you remember? I mean, it's been a while since you wrote the article.
Yes, I don't recall now what caused that. I don't know that anything did cause that. I'm thinking back and thinking maybe that's the way that it was. COVID didn't necessarily bring it on.
It might have added to it maybe afterwards, but
it's just that we weren't paying attention to that.
Right.
And if that's actually the case, it goes to show today that we weren't paying attention to it enough until that point.
Yeah.
And it took a Placer County supervisor, Bonnie Gore, to mention that at a meeting, and the local newspaper editor to read that in our reporter's story and Stacy's report, to go, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So we were all focused on COVID, but we have actually a bigger problem here.
Yeah.
COVID became a story, and one thing that I believe differentiates us as a community newspaper from the mainstream media is the mainstream media in this day and age will jump on a story and everybody jumps on that bandwagon and they write it until it's not a story anymore. The mainstream media writes it until the mainstream media decides it's not a story anymore. And yeah. I hope people understand what I mean when I say that. We'll decide when it's no longer a story.
Right.
The good thing about being a community newspaper is that while we were closed down and locked in and sheltered in place and all those good wonderful things for a few months, when we came out of it we were able to restore our calendars, and our events and things like that, and we were able to start covering things out in public again.
Right.
And the good thing about Stacy and I and Jordan and Tracy being able to show up to work during that time, because we were considered essential, is the way that they put it. You get to drive our vacant freeways every day and go up to Auburn and serve your public. And today in 2026, while we are not making New York Times money and we don't have 1.2 million subscribers, the Auburn Journal and what is now called Gold Mountain California News Media, we are no longer Gold Country Media. It's Gold Mountain California News Media. And if you want to reach our website, and I encourage you to, it's goldmountaincanews.com. goldmountaincanews.com. Visit us and read us online. In addition to our print publications, we have our devoted audience here in Auburn and in Loomis and around the way, Forest Hill, who love to read our paper from front to back. I've been told by a lot of our subscribers, and I love that fact. I still read our paper. The paper comes out on Wednesday and weekends. I pick up the paper and I look at it, even though I've already looked at it 20 times while we were producing the thing. I still want to look at it in print. But we are a thriving little company. We are making money.
That's encouraging.
Financially solid. Again, not New York Times money, but we are a profitable company, and that's good to know. Another little comparison I'd like to draw between print and online is that we print every week, twice a week, about 4,000 copies of the Auburn Journal. About that many for the Folsom Telegraph, which is our paper also. A little less than that, 3,500, something like that, for the Roseville Press Tribune and the Placer Herald, which serves Rockland. And I think about 1,500 or 1,200 or so for the Lincoln News Messenger, and 700 or 800 for the Loomis News. Okay. So that's what we do every week in print copies. Online, we have, at last count, which was a few months ago now, 42,000 subscribers to our newsletter.
Wow.
So that number really stands out to me. When I left the Bee in 2020, they had 29,000 subscribers to their newsletter.
Email?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That was 6.5 years ago, so I'm sure they have more than that now.
Yeah.
Of course they do. But we have 42,000 subscribers to our to our newsletter online, which is amazing. It's growing, and our typical data shows us each month around the whole cluster that we usually reach about 450,000 to 500,000 visitors and viewers. Wow. That's our audience online. That's our traffic online every month. Upward of a half million.
Wow.
Every single month. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yes. Amazing numbers.
Yeah.
So, in theory, we've had stories to where the nursery in town, when Green Acres bought it.
Oh, yes.
I can't remember the name of it. Isley's. When Isley sold, and this has been about 5 or so years ago now, if you figure if everyone picks up the physical copy of the journal and reads about Isley's being sold, you're looking at about 4,200 people. Online, and I wrote that story, online, that story was read 30,000 times.
Wow.
7 times our physical newspaper readership.
Wow.
That's how broad it is. So the online is the now, and it is the future, and we have embraced it. And people are embracing us. We have big social followings on Facebook and we're working on Instagram. We want to get that up and going to where we want it to be, to where we have more followers, because that generates views, and it generates shares, and it generates traffic back to our website to click on the Facebook version, and it takes you back to our website. Now hopefully you read the story you clicked on and you hang out for a while and you read a few more stories as well. We just changed our website about 6 months or so ago, and we're still trying to work out a few bugs and things, but it's going well, and people are following us again, and
Good.
And our audience is ever growing, and we're real proud of that.
Do you know what demographics are young people reading online? Are they reading the paper?
It's interesting. That is a very good question, Sharon. I have an answer to that question. Very, very interesting. In that, while some people think that it's the older the demographic, us, me, and that the reads the newspaper, one would think that, well, our demographic doesn't read online. But I checked the numbers on our Facebook page, notably, and they actually fall in line with newspaper print stats. Kids that are 16 to 21 or something like that, if it's a big story having to do with their age group, they're still accounting for like 3% of the readership. But it's as you get into the older, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60, 60 and up, that's where the statistics go up. That's where they rise.
Right.
That's where they increase in the percentage of readership. I never thought that would be the case, but it is the case. Another little point I'd like to bring up, and this is, I think people find this interesting, is that despite the internet and everything else, print still out-earns internet.
Oh, I'm so glad
company.
to hear that.
Yes, print out-earns internet. And that's advertising, and that's legals, and people need to advertise,
right.
And people need legals, and they come to us for those things.
Yeah.
So we serve the community, and I have to say about our advertisers that we have some, every single ad that you read in the Auburn Journal and the Lincoln News Messenger and all of our papers, big thanks to our advertisers, because these people, we get new ones. We always want new ones. But we have people who are loyal to us, who always advertise with us. They've done so for years. They continue to do so. And I am personally grateful to all of them, because that's our lifeblood. Yeah. And without them, we wouldn't have a newspaper. We would have an Auburn Journal. Right. And so I owe my sincere thanks to them. Okay.
Give a shout out. Give us two of them.
Shout out to all of our advertisers, every single one of them.
Oh, you gotta name them. No.
There's too many to name. There's too many to name. But one I can name, very, very loyal to us, Auburn State Theater.
Yes.
They always advertise with us. Auburn State Theater.
They've kept us up with all their stories and goings on and advertising their shows, and I
can't wait till they reopen, because we've kind of been chronicling what's gone on since they've been closed. Yeah. And through all the renovation and the repairs and everything like that. And I can't wait till we're there when they take us through and give us a tour. I know. Hopefully sometime real soon to reopen. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that too. Mm-hmm. Excited. The library's more county, but still within our it's been closed for a year and a half, and so it's opening up soon, and I'm looking forward to that story.
I am going to be there for that reopening.
I know. I hope you be too.
Absolutely. Yes.
So
yes, I can't wait for that.
I wanted them to keep the little satellite out at DeWitt open, but I don't think they're going to. They didn't listen to me on that. So go figure.
There's some news on DeWitt that I think is going to be coming up soon.
Ooh, can you spill the beans?
No, I can't spill the beans.
Oh man, a tickler.
But it's a small town, and a lot of people know a lot of things. if you ask the right person, you're going to get an answer on that.
Okay, so let's see. I guess still in looking in the rearview mirror a little bit, what is your least favorite memory of the last 6 years? What went wrong? What let's see, I want to put it in a great way. What maybe was too controversial, or I don't know. Do you have anything like that?
The thing that stands out to me, and I wouldn't even call it wrong, but what stands out to me is that since we lost Tracy 2 years ago, we haven't really had a dedicated Auburn reporter, boots on the ground. We have kept it together with fingers in the dike and patchwork, and just everything. So it's me picking up a story when we got to do a story. It's Stacy picking up a story when we got to get this out there like right now. It's Jordan picking up a story this summer because the high schools aren't playing sports and he has a little more free time. Jordan, can you do this really quick? Yeah, I'll knock it out for you. So we've kept it together. So maybe in the eyes of some people, of most, maybe none, I don't know. It looks like the Journal is business as usual, but we have missed a lot of stories. We have missed a lot of stories because we didn't know about them. We didn't have a reporter on the spot. Okay. We didn't have a devoted reporter who was scanning websites, and scanning the chamber Facebook page and the chamber website to find out what's going on this weekend and next after that. And just not getting the events out there before they happen.
So
more people know about them before they happen.
Right, and I have noticed that as great a job as you want to do and have done, a lot of times I go, well, why do I know it's going to happen today?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And part of that, I think, I'm going to guess as a person who doesn't know much, it's because you went down to 2 days a week. Mm-hmm. Now you have to really time. Okay, that event is happening on a Tuesday, but I have to really get it out the Sunday before, not. It just seems to me that's a little more calendar-driven.
Yes.
Got to stay on top of.
Yes.
And people and organizations have to let you know in a timely fashion, and maybe that doesn't happen either.
Right.
Well,
during my time as editor, myself, Stacy, Jordan, we would encourage people. They would email us and they would say, "When do you need this notice?"
Yeah.
Well, what day is it? It's on August the 28th. Make sure you have it to me no later than the 15th, 13 days, 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I can get it prepped. I can put it in the paper a week out. So people have time to plan. Sometimes
right.
even if it's coming up, quote unquote, this weekend, and we put it in today's Wednesday paper, people will look at it and go, I can't go, I made plans already.
Yeah.
But if we have it in last weekend's paper, it gives them a week to say, I can go to that now.
Yeah.
And they can plan for it, like the Art Walk. The Art Walk was Friday, and we had that in the paper long before Friday. We didn't have it in last Wednesday's paper. We had it in well before that, so people knew about it.
Right.
And there was a great turnout. It was a lot of fun, and it wasn't too hot.
Yeah.
It was hot, but it wasn't that hot. It wasn't triple-digit hot.
Right.
So that's what we always try to tell people when they email me or call me and say, when do I need to have this in? I tell them, get it into me now. If it's
2 weeks, okay.
If it's 6 months from now, I'll say, let's get a little closer there, and then get back to me, and we'll make arrangements for you to email directly to me, and I'll get it prepped, and we'll get it in the paper.
And a lot of times I'll see it in there a couple times, like 2 weeks out,
yes.
and then again maybe just a couple days ahead
yes.
in case you've forgotten or whatever. But so I do appreciate that because I'll see that for different SIRS meetings or something like that. So
and now that I am the reporter who's dedicated to the Auburn City beat, that is now my job. I can focus on that.
That would be good.
And that only. If there are events, I can take care of things. Right now, I see you in my email, but that's not happening for 2 more weeks. I got this. I have to get done right this second.
Yeah.
And so those days are over for me. So
all right.
I can dedicate myself thoroughly to Auburn.
Well, that's
really
going to be
good.
fun.
I'm already enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm already enjoying it.
Well, that's my last question before we wrap it up. Believe it or not, man, he can talk. He's good.
I can talk.
You can talk and write.
That's my wife.
Anyway, so you're going into this new kind of chapter. I'm going to say retirement, a different journey. Mm-hmm. I've always told people it's overrated. That's just my experience. So, but you've already filled in the blanks quite a bit. You're going to be still involved in the paper, mm-hmm. just at a more local level and a quieter level. Can I say that? Maybe? I don't know.
I hope not. I hope it's loud as it can be. I love writing about that.
I know. That's
when
true.
It's loud.
I know. But I mean, a little less. What's the word I want? A little more at your pace. Is
yes.
that a good word?
Yes.
Is that a way to frame it?
Yes.
So that's going to be so fun for you and for us, and we're still part of the Journal.
Already enjoying it.
The voice of Auburn. Yeah. Okay.
We had a call this morning. Stacy, again, who's now my boss, the shoe's on the other foot now. She sent a voicemail to me, and I can't I can't divulge what that is.
No.
You have to wait on that scoop.
Okay.
But I received a phone call about a story idea that's extremely compelling and personal, and it's one that, as the local beat reporter for the Auburn Journal now, I was more than happy to go back into her office and say, I'll do this story.
Oh,
and she
good.
said, I figured you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stacy and I know each other really well.
That's so nice. She's gonna be a good person at the helm then.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So I'm already making arrangements.
But she's a new mama. She's a new mama.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, she is.
Wow, good on you,
Yeah.
Stacy. Let's go. Yeah.
Her baby just celebrated her baby celebrated her first birthday on the day Stacy began as our editor.
Aw, so that's going to be a lucky date for them.
So that's going to be big in their family history years down the road.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
And she's brought her into the office a couple of times, and let's just say that she loves Uncle Bill.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So that's Uncle Bill.
Oh,
Who
I
could love
spoil
Uncle
her.
Bill?
I spoil her to
You're going to be
no end.
it's like taking your puppy on a walk.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
draw the crowds. Now
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
get all the
Oh,
scoop.
yeah.
Just take
Yeah.
the baby. Okay.
And she's too doggone cute, and she's a cuddler. She's a snuggler. I pick her up, and she curls her little head into my shoulder, and my gosh,
She's happy.
Oh,
she's happy there.
And I rock her and I hold her and talk to her and pick at her, and she and I just get along real good.
That's so great. Oh, I just love the connection, and it makes Auburn even stronger for all of that.
She has a lot of close
Yeah.
aunties and uncles at the Auburn Journal.
Oh, I bet
we
she
all
does.
just baby her, every one of us.
So great.
We fight over who's going to hold her next.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens. Like she's going,
And
Anyway.
we get nothing done. And we get nothing done when she's there, which
Okay,
is just fine with me,
Yeah, now.
right? Yeah.
We're gonna have to wrap it up because I want to mention it's back to school, so that's a busy time. Be careful out there, everybody on the roads. Happy in your new venture. We'll
very
call it
much.
a new venture.
Thank you very much.
Football's coming up. Everybody gets so tired of me talking about football. But my Niners have their first exhibition game tomorrow night, Thursday the 13th. Lucky 13. Purdy's number 13. Okay, I think
Right.
I see it all. I know it doesn't totally count, but it counts in my mind. So football's back on the scene. Let's see what else. I just want you all to take care of one another, be kind, look out for one another with school going back. And we love you. I'm
Thank
so
you
glad
very
you're not
much.
leaving us.
I love being here.
Okay.
I love Auburn. I love the community.
All right.
And I have to point out.
Oh, here we go.
You have to pick up the Friday weeklies if you don't live in Auburn, and you have to pick up the weekend or the Wednesday Auburn Journal because myself, Jordan Jorgensen, and Matt Long, our 28-year veteran sports reporter in Folsom, we're coming back for what is going to be our 4th year of prep football picks for the high schools, and I won't mention names, but somebody's working on a 4-peat. I've won the first 3, so you have to read our picks because I know how to pick prep football games.
Okay,
Wonder
all
who's
right.
going to win Friday night. Read my picks.
Is it all high school or do you do?
It's all high school.
Oh, well,
all high
come
school all the
on.
time.
I want to go for Notre Dame and the Niners this year.
Notre Dame and the Niners.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are my 2 teams.
Okay.
Anyway, love you lots.
Thank you
for
very much.
being here.
And thank you for having me. I've had a wonderful time. I love it.
Be good to one another. Take care.